think you should.
I'm pretty sure we all have them. Those abilities that you always see on the enemy team that never fail to trigger you because they're so stupidly busted. No matter how many times people try to convince you that these abilities are balanced, you know in your heart that these are the most busted abilities in all of Overwatch, and for some reason the Blizzard devs have not fixed them. We're going to be covering those abilities today. We're going to be talking about the 5 most busted abilities in all of Overwatch. Not the ones that are the most powerful, the ones that are straight up broken, that are stupidly powerful. And we're going to start with a fan favorite, Hanzo's Scatter Arrow. I can't even imagine what was going through the devs' heads when they gave Hanzo this ability. It's as if they thought being able to one-shot most heroes in the game wasn't enough. He really needs to one-shot them all. For some reason, you can one-shot Orisa and Zarya with this thing, and you can almost one-shot Winston. Actually, there's like a 1 in a million chance that you do one-shot Winston. But the point is, if Winston has taken even a little bit of damage, you can drop him right on the ground as if we're in the Cincinnati Zoo. Old joke, but it's still good. What's truly baffling about this ability is for the longest time, it's the only thing that kept Hanzo viable. His primary fire was very weak a long time ago, especially after they made his hitboxes not the size of the Empire State Building, and it really felt bad when you were playing Hanzo. You just miss everything. Enemies were moving too fast to ever, hit them with your slow arrows. You couldn't get enough arrows off, so your main source of killing would just be your scatter arrow. So now that Hanzo's kit has been buffed and he's actually kind of good now, his scatter arrow is just over the top. To give you an example of how OP scatter arrow is, it is on the same exact cooldown as Roadhog's hook and McCree's flashbang. In the newest patch, Roadhog's hook isn't even going to be able to one-shot many heroes anymore, and McCree's flashbang has been regarded as a lackluster ability for a very long time. It's very inconsistent, and it's just not the greatest thing in the world. But scatter arrow can one-shot so many heroes at the same cooldown without any skill required. I'd say it's actually harder to land a hook or a flashbang than it is to land a scatter arrow, and scatter arrow guarantees you a kill. The other two don't. So if you think scatter arrow is somehow fair or balanced, you're just wrong. We're gonna move on now and talk about the next stupidest ability, most busted piece of crap in all of Overwatch. And you've probably guessed this would be on the list. It's D.Va's stupid, no skill, spammable, ultimate eating ability known as Defense Matrix. Are you kidding me, Blizzard? One ability that not only blocks the primary fire of 90% of heroes in the game, but it also eats most of the ultimates that come out as well. Oh, and to top it off, it's not even on like a set cooldown the way it used to be. It's on a recharge system, so D.Va can turn it on and off, and then turn it on and off, and then turn it on and off again to selectively block out higher bits of damage from the enemy team. Oh, you're about to throw out an ultimate? Let me turn that on. Oh, I'll just turn it off after that. It's no big deal. Oh, Soldier 76 is going to use his Helix rocket, or McCree's gonna flashbang. Let me eat those two things up and then resume attacking. It's not fair, okay? And what bothers me even more about it is you don't even have to be good to actually use it. Sure, you have to at least have timing to eat ultimates. You have to know when the enemy is gonna use their ultimates. That takes a little skill, right? But the thing is, if you're hit by the enemy's Graviton Surge, or your team is hit by an Earth Shatter, or something else along those lines, you can still use your Defense Matrix after you failed to Defense Matrix the ultimate and save your team, because you're going to soak up 90% of the incoming damage. The only damage that'll come through is something from like Zarya or Winston. Have you ever heard someone say, let's get D.Va out of mech before we use so-and-so combo, whatever it may be? D.Va is the only hero in the game that has a single ability that is so powerful, you have to effectively kill her before you can use your ultimate. You have to kill D.Va. You have to remove her from her mech to stop her from using this one ability she has. Do you realize how hard that is sometimes? If the D.Va's playing safe and passively, there is no way in hell you're ever going to land a Graviton from far away. She'll see it coming and turn on Defense Matrix, or when you try to get closer, she'll just Defense Matrix and tell her team to just shoot the hell out of you, and you'll die before you can get it off or before her Defense Matrix is up. You have to kill D.Va to actually use important abilities. That's how busted this this ability is. And there's no counterplay anymore either. You used to be able to run straight into D.Va and shoot your ultimate straight down as Zarya, and it would still go off because it didn't have enough time to get eaten by Defense Matrix. And that seems fair, actually. If you think about what Defense Matrix is, it's actually D.Va shooting every enemy projectile out of the air manually. Yeah, that's the way it works in the lore. There is no way she has the reaction time to shoot that thing out of the air manually when Zarya literally just face plants it into the ground. I don't even think this ability is fair. I hate D.Va for so many more reasons than this, but this is the icing on the cake. This is the cake too. This is the icing and the cake, and the candles, and whatever you like to put on your cake. You like ice cream? It's also the ice cream. You like whipped cream? It's that too. D.Va's Defense Matrix is the ultimate trigger lone hog ability. You're probably thinking right now, if he hates Defense Matrix that much, I can't imagine how he feels about Deflect. Well, Deflect is also on the list, but I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't hate it nearly as much as D.Va's Defense Matrix. This list is not in order. These are just the 5 abilities that are totally most busted in this game. And Genji's Deflect definitely does make it on there because it seriously can do some damage and swing some fights. I mean, it's basically like saying, hey, you know that ability you just used or that shot you just fired? That's mine now. Eat this. And then you just kind of send it back towards them. And as triggering as it may be to get your ability deflected by a Genji, especially if it's an ultimate, you gotta know one thing. Genji actually had to time that ability to land it, and he couldn't just spam it, turn it on and off again, and hope to get lucky. And furthermore, when deflecting most things, you have to be aiming in the right direction. If you aim at a Widowmaker and deflect, you'll land a headshot on her. But if you're looking in the wrong direction and you deflect a Widowmaker, you're not going to land the headshot, making this ability way harder to use. And it's on a static cooldown, so whenever Genji uses it, that's your cue to throw out some ultimates, because he can't deflect them. So, don't get me wrong, this ability is still busted, it's still on the list, it still does most of the things Defense Matrix does, and then some, but it's a little bit harder to use, so I'm going to be a little forgiving and say it's about on the same level as Defense Matrix. But are any of these abilities really as busted as Zarya's barriers? I'm going to include both of them in this video, considering that they're basically the same thing, except one goes on Zarya and one goes on someone else. The point is, these barriers are the biggest cock block I've ever seen in Overwatch, even more so I think than Defense Matrix or Deflect, simply because they come out of nowhere. As soon as you're about to kill someone, you're about to get that finishing blow, you know their team Zarya's got their back. Whenever you land a hook as Roadhog, the Zarya's gonna bubble them right as you're about to shoot, and you're gonna give her full charge and make her more powerful because of it. This on top of the fact that for the duration of the shield, she's immune to any sort of like crowd control. You can't hook her, you can't boop her, none of that works. Zarya's bubble is the end all be all fun stopper, alright? Nothing gets past this barrier. I actually think the real reason this ability is so busted is because so many people do not know how to deal with it. I always seem to get the brain dead teammates that don't understand the concept of this barrier. For example, when Zarya is low on HP, like a few shots from death, just shoot through the barrier. It doesn't matter if she gets charged because she's gonna die. But when Zarya's on full HP and nobody was shooting at her, don't turn your attention toward her to shoot her barrier. I swear I always get the teammates that do those two things. They refuse to shoot the barrier when Zarya's low and she escapes, or she kills me most of the time, or they just shoot at it willy-nilly for no reason. And in pretty much every one of these situations, Zarya gets more charge, she gets more powerful because of your teammates' incompetence. Trust me, it's never you or me. We never shoot the barriers at the wrong time. It's always those stupid teammates. I will say though, I don't think I hate this ability with a passion like I do the other abilities in this video, namely Defense Matrix, because this ability once again requires at least a little bit of skill to use. You use it at the wrong time and it's utterly useless, and you use it the right time and it makes you this overpowered monster. There's definitely an aspect of timing you need to get down, but once you get it down, you're gonna do a lot of damage. You're gonna make my life as a Tracer player, as a Roadhog player, as someone who wants to kill people, you're just making my life hard, man. Well, you gotta do that. The last ability though, now this is a tough one. You see, I went into this video with only 4 abilities in mind. I used to have Roadhog's Hook on this list, but he's getting nerfed, so it doesn't really matter. And other than that, I don't think there are any abilities that are just mind-numbingly triggering. So I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. I want to hear what you think the most busted ability left in all of Overwatch is. It doesn't matter if the hero is any good, it's just if that ability is busted beyond belief. Sombra's Hack might be on that list. I don't know. Tracer's Blink, I mean, considering it is her entire kit, that could be the most busted ability. I'm not sure. Leave your answer down below and leave a like if you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys all next time. Have a good one. Lone Hawk out.